When you realize your ex has moved on to a new relationship, it can feel like your whole world is crumbling down in an instant. The pain of losing someone who used to be your everything mixes with a deep-rooted insecurity. Have I been replaced? Are all the things that once belonged to us now just a faded memory? These questions seem to constantly swirl in your mind. Have they truly forgotten me? Is this new relationship true love, or just a way to fill the void of loneliness? But you have to understand one thing. A new relationship doesn't immediately erase what existed between the two of you. Humans are complex beings filled with contradictions and memories. The memories and feelings associated with you still leave a deep imprint, even if they try to bury or forget them. A fleeting glance, a familiar melody, or a subtle scent is enough to rekindle those emotions that once belonged to you. These pieces of memory are not easily replaced by anyone else, even if they are in the arms of someone new. Instead of seeing this as the end, consider it an important turning point for you to pause and understand yourself. The no-contact rule is not just about creating distance between two people, but also an opportunity for both of you to reflect. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." 1. By accepting reality and looking inward, you will begin to understand that your current emotions are not the essence of things. Starting today, let this no-contact journey be the door that leads you to a future filled with hope and strength. Each step is proof that you can overcome anything and deserve true happiness. Number 1. Analyzing post-breakup psychology and emotional shifts. Breakups. Is there anyone among us who hasn't experienced this feeling? It's like a lingering wound, a silent pain that both people involved have to endure. Whether you're the one who initiated the breakup or the one who unexpectedly has to face the departure of the other person, each carries their own range of emotions, feelings that are difficult to put into words. People often think that the person who initiates the breakup is stronger and more decisive, but few understand that behind the seemingly cold exterior lies a world of inner turmoil. Deciding to leave someone you once loved is never easy. It's a long journey full of anxieties, where reason and the heart constantly struggle, and in the end they are forced to make the most painful choice. Try to put yourself in their shoes. To say the words, "let's break up," they had to overcome waves of conflicting emotions, long nights of contemplation, asking themselves, is this really the right decision? No one easily leaves someone they deeply loved, but when they make the decision to break up, it's usually the result of a prolonged internal struggle. The decisiveness they display is not a sign of coldness or insensitivity, but a way for them to build an emotional wall to protect themselves from vulnerability and hesitation. This is a manifestation of a difficult choice, abandoning the familiar to seek a new direction, even though it may bring both relief and pain. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them." They are not only trying to avoid emotions, but also trying to face what they believe needs to change, no matter how difficult it may be. Within the emotional wall they build, you can see the contradiction, both wanting to end things and unable to forget what once bound them. Their act of breaking up, though decisive, still contains silent pain. They choose to protect themselves, but at the same time face an uncertain future where they must learn to heal from the fragments they have left behind. However, the initial relief they feel doesn't last forever. After the distance is established, they begin to realize your absence. Familiar habits like a good morning text, an evening conversation, or a simple gesture of care now become a void that no one can easily fill. This is when the psychological effect called the absence effect starts to work. Only when something is no longer present do people realize its true value. The person who initiates the breakup often idealizes the freedom of life after leaving, thinking that they will be more relieved without the stress of the relationship. But in reality, new challenges quickly emerge. When they face the silence, inner questions begin to arise. Was I too hasty? Did I lose something precious? They may seek new joys, engage in activities, or even pursue another relationship. But memories of you still linger in their minds, especially in quiet moments. It's worth noting that your silence is not a disappearance, but a powerful statement: I don't need your presence to find my worth. By not contacting them, you give them space to face their true emotions without being distracted by clinging or chasing. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to look directly at their decisions and face the consequences. Your ex, whether they want to or not, will compare. As they enter a new relationship, they will gradually realize that the familiar feeling, the deep connection you brought, is not easily replicated. This doesn't necessarily mean that you are better than the new person, but it is a clear testament that the old relationship has left an indelible mark on their soul. Memories, emotions, and shared moments cannot be immediately replaced because they are not just experiences, but have become an inseparable part of their identity. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What we are disturbed by is not things, but by the views which we take of them." As they face the void you left behind, they not only feel your absence, but also struggle with how they interpret the complex emotions within themselves. The old relationship is no longer just a vague memory, but a mirror, forcing them to ask themselves, The space you leave behind is not emptiness, but a silent yet powerful reminder that you once held an important place in their life. And it is in this silence that they begin to understand that what they have lost is not just a companion, but also a part of themselves. A part that they cannot easily replace or forget. Most importantly, you must remember that hasty actions on your part, like pleading, begging, or trying to prove something, only reinforce their decision to leave. On the contrary, keeping your distance, focusing on yourself, and not trying to change their mind helps you regain dignity and balance. Silence is not just a tactic, but a way to give both of you time to see the truth clearly. The journey of healing after a breakup is a difficult but meaningful one. Time and silence are your strongest allies. See this as an opportunity to discover yourself, rebuild your self-esteem, and find freedom within your soul. One day, when you look back, you will see that this relationship was not the end, but an important chapter in your own growth story. Number 2, facing the pain of your ex's new relationship. Choosing peace. When you learn that your ex has entered a new relationship, it can feel like your world has suddenly turned upside down. The pain isn't just about them having someone new. Deeper down, it's the feeling of being replaced, abandoned, as if you no longer hold any significance in their story. It's a moment where reason and emotion clash fiercely, pulling you into haunting self-questioning. What did I do wrong? What makes their new partner better than me? Psychologically, this hurt is linked to rejection syndrome, where the brain reacts to loss as a physical wound. That feeling of pain is not an illusion, it's a biological response, plunging you into a state of despair. But remember, as the philosopher Epictetus said, "We are not disturbed by things, but by the views which we take of them." While you grapple with feelings of loss, your ex may be experiencing the honeymoon phase of their new relationship. They feel excitement, idealize their new partner, and revel in the novelty. But keep in mind, this phase is not proof of lasting happiness. According to psychological research, rebound relationships, those formed immediately after a breakup, often lack a solid foundation. They are primarily based on emotional escapism, helping them temporarily forget their wounds instead of facing and healing them. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." They are trying to escape the memories of you and the old relationship by seeking distraction in a new person. But that doesn't mean you've been replaced. It just means they're looking for a way to fill an emotional void that they're not yet brave enough to confront. This is not the time to blame yourself or compare yourself to others. Instead of dwelling on the question, "Why am I not good enough?" ask yourself, "How can I become the best version of myself?" This is an opportunity to shift your focus from them to yourself, from trying to control things beyond your grasp to mastering your inner world. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone, because your value is not defined by their choices. As Stoic philosophy teaches us, happiness comes not from external things, but from the way we choose to respond. Their choice reflects their inner needs at this moment, not an evaluation of you. The person they choose is not necessarily better, but simply more aligned with their current emotional state. Instead of indulging in suffering, see this as an opportunity to reshape your life. Set personal goals, focus on your mental and physical health, and rebuild your self-esteem. When you dedicate time to personal growth, you not only find peace, but also regain control of your life. Remember, their new relationship does not diminish your worth, and it's not something you need to dwell on. Time will answer the questions you don't have answers to right now. The important thing is, instead of trying to hold on or compare, use this time to explore and appreciate yourself. Number 3, embracing the no-contact rule in the pain of a breakup. Deciding to implement the no-contact rule with an ex isn't just about abandoning a familiar habit. It's like closing a door that once led to the sweetest and most painful memories. Every day you wake up, you feel a strong urge to hear their voice, check their social media, or send a short message just to connect. But silence, though painful, is the first step you need to heal. In Stoic philosophy, Epictetus said, "We cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it." The no-contact rule is the embodiment of this lesson. It's not a way to manipulate your ex or test their emotions. It's an act to help you regain control of your life and your self-worth. Cutting off contact will force you to confront a range of chaotic emotions, loneliness, doubt, fear. But it is in this silence that you begin to discover hidden corners that the old relationship once obscured. When you stop depending on your ex's reactions, you are forced to turn inward and face yourself. It's a challenging journey, but also an opportunity to redefine yourself. Your ex may temporarily feel relieved by the breakup, as if they have just unloaded a burden, but your silence will gradually create its own weight. Human psychology is often strange. Only when something is no longer present do we truly realize its value. Over time, they will begin to remember the little things you brought, moments of companionship, understanding, and the feeling of security that only a genuine relationship can provide. Distance is not an ending, but a space for both sides to reflect. In your absence, your ex will not be able to avoid their emotions forever. If they enter a rebound relationship, the initial euphoria will quickly fade as deeper issues surface. They will begin to wonder, did I underestimate my ex? Have I really found what I'm looking for? This is the loss effect, a powerful effect that pushes the mind to confront what they once took for granted. Lao Tzu taught, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." The no-contact rule is a profound expression of this philosophy. Ceasing communication with your ex is not a sign of weakness or avoidance, but a courageous act to free you from emotional bonds that are no longer healthy. You let go not because you give up hope, but because you understand that hope should not be placed in things beyond your control. This doesn't mean you're trying to make them regret or come back. Instead, you are devoting your time and energy to focus on yourself, rebuilding your self-esteem, rediscovering your interests and passions, and learning to love yourself without needing validation from others. When you choose silence, you not only give your ex space to face their emotions, but you also give yourself the most precious gift: freedom. Freedom from dependence, from obsession, and from the feeling that your worth must be measured by how others treat you. On this journey, remember that the no-contact rule is not about waiting for them to change, but an opportunity for you to change yourself. You don't need to win an emotional battle because you're no longer fighting. Your happiness does not lie in whether they recognize your worth, but in you recognizing that worth from within. Use silence to heal, to grow, and to move on with a freer and stronger spirit than ever before. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Choose to be happy from within, for that is something no one can take away from you." The no-contact rule is not the end, but a door opening to a new chapter, a chapter you write with confidence, self-respect, and complete freedom of mind. Number 4. Non-interference. When your ex has moved on, choosing calm and respect. Seeing your ex hand in hand with someone new can shatter your heart. It's not just the feeling of being replaced, but also the psychological shock of realizing you've lost a once important place in their life. Emotions like jealousy, anger, and hurt overwhelm you, urging you to act, from sending reproachful messages to trying to intrude on their life, or even sabotaging the new relationship. But stop for a moment and ask yourself, will these actions bring the results you expect? The philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Interfering in your ex's new relationship is like throwing yourself into an emotional storm where you only become weaker and lose control. They won't see love in your actions, but only resentment, intrusion, and suffocation. This not only pushes them further away, but also reinforces their decision that leaving you was the right thing to do. When you try to force your way into their life, they will react like a hedgehog with its spines out. They withdraw, build a protective wall, and idealize the new relationship as a safe haven. Every act of reproach or interference only makes them feel more pressured and further confirms that their choice to move on was correct. Your image in their eyes gradually transforms into that of a troublemaker, someone who reminds them of old conflicts and pain instead of beautiful memories. Consider the story of Alex and Mia. After 4 years together, irreconcilable differences led to their breakup. Just a few months later, Mia started a new relationship with Ethan. Alex, unable to bear the pain, sent constant messages to reproach Mia and even showed up at her workplace to exert pressure. As a result, Mia not only felt harassed but also found protection and comfort from Ethan. Alex's interference inadvertently strengthened their new relationship. Remember, silence is not surrender but a powerful choice to protect yourself. The philosopher Epictetus emphasized, freedom is secured not by the fulfilling of one's desires but by the removal of desire. Your silence not only helps you maintain your dignity, but also creates space for your ex to confront their true emotions. When you are no longer present, they will not be able to continue blaming or avoiding the instability in their new relationship. Human psychology is strange in that only when something disappears do people truly feel its value. Your silence and distance may lead them to wonder, have I lost something important? Does this new person really bring the same depth of feeling as the previous relationship? These questions, if not forced, will arise naturally in their minds and force them to face truths they once tried to avoid. What you need to do is not try to prove your worth to your ex, but invest in yourself. Rediscover joy in forgotten hobbies, build healthy relationships with those who truly love you, and especially cultivate inner strength so you no longer depend on the validation of others. Lao Tzu said, "When you let go of what you are, you become what you might be." Don't let temporary emotions cloud your ability to control yourself. Non-interference not only helps you regain balance, but also presents an opportunity to build a future where you are the center of your own universe. Instead of trying to hold on or intrude, choose to let go. Your silence is a powerful affirmation that you don't need to rely on anyone to find your worth. Turn this time into an opportunity to be reborn, to grow, and to become the best version of yourself. And if your ex realizes your value, let it happen naturally. But if not, you are ready to move on with peace and freedom in your soul. Number 5. The whirlpool of post-breakup relationships, observing with reason and a stoic mindset. I understand the pain of witnessing your ex hand in hand with someone new. It feels like a knife twisting in your heart, stirring up complex and chaotic emotions. But take a deep breath, step back, and try to see the situation through the eyes of a rational observer. Maintaining a calm mindset not only helps you overcome the pain, but also gives you a clearer view of the true nature of the relationships your ex is building. Rebound relationships. Filling the emotional void. Many people enter new relationships immediately after a breakup, not out of genuine love, but to fill the void left by the old relationship. This is a rebound relationship, where your ex seeks temporary comfort instead of facing loneliness and the process of self-healing. These relationships often lack depth and genuine connection, as they are built on the need to escape rather than true connection. Over time, as the novelty wears off, they will begin to compare and realize that the new relationship cannot replace the deep values they once had in the old one. Relationships for validation, protecting a wounded ego. Another type of relationship is the validation relationship. Your ex enters a new relationship not to love, but to affirm that they have moved on from you, or to prove to society that they are doing better. This is an act to protect a wounded ego, a way to cope with social pressure or feelings of failure after a breakup. However, these types of relationships are often unsustainable, as they are based on the need for show rather than genuine attachment. Your ex may feel temporarily empowered, but when the excitement fades, they will face feelings of emptiness and realize that proving themselves cannot bring true happiness. Controlling relationships. Attacking your sense of self. Some exes may deliberately flaunt their happiness in a new relationship to get your attention or hurt you. This is a controlling relationship where they use the new person as a tool to attack your emotions. These actions often stem from insecurity, the need for control, and the fear of losing power in the old relationship. However, this approach not only hurts you, but also turns the new relationship into an emotional game, lacking sincerity and respect for the other person. Your value is not defined by their actions. Whatever type of relationship your ex chooses, remember that their actions are not a measure of your worth. You are not a wrong choice, and the quality of the old relationship is not determined by how they move on. What they do reflects their psychological state, not a judgment of you as a person. The philosopher Epictetus said, "Happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not." Don't let impulsiveness or jealousy draw you into a self-destructive spiral. The no-contact rule is not only a way to maintain your dignity, but also a tool to help you regain balance and protect your mind from negative influences. See your ex's new relationship as a mirror, helping you better understand yourself and what you truly need in life. Focus on developing yourself, rediscovering joy in small things, and appreciating the values you hold. As Lao Tzu said, "When you let go of what you no longer need, you create space for something better to enter your life." Let silence and calmness lead you to true freedom and happiness, where your value is not determined by anyone but yourself. Number 6. Delayed regret syndrome. When the ex finally realizes, breaking up is never easy, but eventually, everyone has to move on with their own journey. Your ex is no exception. They might be basking in the bright light of a new beginning, where everything seems beautiful and complete. They might post happy pictures on social media as a way to affirm that they have moved on, that their current life is better than ever. But deep down, no one can truly erase the memories that were once an important part of them. The truth is, within each person's mind exists a hidden corner of memories, a place that stores fragments of the past, memories that cannot be erased. Over time, as the glamorous veneer of the present fades, delayed regret syndrome begins to creep in, causing them to unexpectedly confront the longing for you and what they have lost. A new relationship always starts with excitement when everything is coated in the shimmering light of novelty. The new person appears perfect, seemingly without flaws, but then time reveals the reality: personality differences, minor disagreements, and inevitable conflicts. As the shiny shell peels away, they realize that the new relationship is not as perfect as imagined and cannot compare to the bond they once had with. Habits and memories from the old relationship have a strange power. A song, a coffee shop, a familiar street, all can be sparks that ignite the stream of memories. The moments you shared, the understanding, the deep sharing, become memories that the new person cannot replace. In their eyes, you gradually become an indelible figure, an invisible standard that others cannot easily surpass. Footnote: no one can truly replace anyone else. Your ex may find new emotions in their current relationship, but those emotions are just another piece of the puzzle, not a perfect substitute for what you once brought. What you left in them is not just memories, but also a part of their identity, making them realize that no one else can bring the same feeling. When they realize your value, they might send a message after a long silence, or express regret for letting you go. This is a sign of delayed regret syndrome. But remember, their regret is not a measure of your worth. You don't need validation from others to affirm yourself. Your value lies in loving yourself and constantly growing. The philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you view their turning away with rational eyes, you will understand that their choosing someone new is not a rejection of you, but a result of their own search. Instead of drowning in pain or hoping for their return, use this time to rediscover yourself, learn a new skill, travel to places you've never been, and build a life you're truly proud of. What they think or do no longer matters, because you have realized that true happiness lies within you. Psychology has shown that people often appreciate what they have lost when they no longer have the opportunity to hold on to it. But their realization, even if it comes late, is not your goal. Let your silence speak, and let them face the void you left behind. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Instead of looking back, move forward with confidence and strength, because the path ahead is yours, and yours alone. Number 7. The journey back to self, building independent psychology after a breakup. Breaking up is not just about leaving someone, but also about the feeling of losing a part of yourself. We feel empty, lost, as if all the values and meanings that were once attached suddenly vanish. These feelings, though painful, are the beginning of a journey of self-reconstruction, a journey back to the self, where we learn to build an independent psychology to not only overcome hurt but also become stronger than before. Independent psychology is not just the ability to stand on your own without needing others, but about finding inner freedom, rediscovering the meaning of life without being dependent on anyone or anything. This is a journey that requires perseverance, strong will, and above all, the courage to face yourself. Stage 1. Self-awareness, turning the light inward. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "The first and most necessary topic in philosophy is that which treats of the application of principles, as, for instance, not to lie." After a breakup, asking yourself, "Who am I outside of this relationship?" becomes the first step to reconnecting with yourself. Take time to recognize your true self, the passions, values, and goals that you once neglected. Write down questions like, what makes me truly happy? What are my strengths and core values? What do I want my life to look like? The answers are not just a roadmap, but also help you redraw a complete picture of yourself, freeing you from the constraints of others' expectations. Stage 2. Self-regulation of emotions, mastering the inner storm. Post-breakup emotions are like raging waves, powerful, chaotic, and unpredictable. Independent psychology doesn't require you to suppress emotions, but to learn to embrace them as part of the journey. The philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Allow yourself to be sad, to cry, but at the same time, remind yourself that these feelings are only temporary. Practicing meditation, journaling, or seeking healthy activities like exercise, reading, or joining support groups will help you balance your emotions. Remember, every day you overcome is a day you move closer to inner peace. Stage 3. Finding happiness within, discovering the true source of strength. In Stoicism, Seneca wrote, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. Not to amuse ourselves with either hopes or fears, but to rest satisfied with what we have, which is sufficient. For he that is so wants nothing." The greatest blessings of mankind are within us and within our reach. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he has not. 4. This reminds us that instead of waiting for happiness from others, we need to create it from within. Turn life into a playground to discover joy in small things. An afternoon spent in your favorite cafe, an inspiring page of a book, or a short trip to enjoy nature. Instead of focusing on what you have lost, find joy in developing yourself, learning a new skill, or setting goals for the future. When you find happiness within yourself, you will realize that no one can take it away. Stage 4. Reshaping Yourself, a Worthwhile Journey. The journey of building independent psychology after a breakup is not about proving anything to others, but about finding yourself. When you focus on self-development, you not only heal wounds, but also become the best version of yourself, free, confident, and strong. As Lao Tzu said, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be." Don't cling to the past or force yourself into old patterns. Let this journey be a turning point for you to discover your inner strength and build a meaningful life where you truly control your destiny. When you become yourself, independent, uninfluenced, you will attract new relationships where respect and love come from both sides. This journey is not just about recovery, but a valuable rebirth. Thank you for taking the time to explore the inner world of your ex, especially when they are dating someone else. I hope these insights have helped you better understand their thoughts and feelings, as well as how to apply Stoic philosophy to overcome this difficult period. Remember, you deserve happiness and peace of mind. Don't let emotional turmoil affect your self-worth. If you found this helpful, please share it with your friends to spread a positive message and help those who are going through a similar situation. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to not miss the next videos about love, life, and Stoic philosophy.